Stella, how did you ever become such a complete idiot?
I got friends in Washington.
Hey,
Abbott, what time is it?
it's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure. Chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
All right, Costello, here I am. What are you so excited about?
Oh, I just finished playing my first game of football with the California girls team.
You play football with girls?
Yeah.
On a girls' team?
Mm.
I'll bet that's exciting.
Oh, well, the playing ain't so exciting, but oh, those huddles.
I never heard of girls playing football. Where do they get their players?
Oh, they pick the girls according to the shape. You know, quarterbacks, halfbacks. You ought to see those fullbacks. I'm going steady with the center.
Is she pretty?
Well, she's the next thing to Lauren Bacall.
She is?
Yeah, she looks like Humphrey Bogart. But she loves to play games. Last night we played Parcheesi.
Parcheesi?
Yes, first I would kiss her, and she would kiss me, and then I would kiss her.
Wait a minute. Who told her that was Parcheesi?
I did. Ain't I a stinker?
Well, instead of sitting home and playing silly games, why don't you take her to the movies?
Oh, I tried to.
You
I
did?
bought 14 tickets, but we couldn't get in.
Why not?
Every time I bought a ticket from the cashier, some guy in a uniform at the door would tear him up.
Well, I don't know why a girl would bother you with you in the first place. You're ugly, fat, dumpy, ignorant.
Before you go any further, I want to say one thing.
What's that?
Don't go any further.
When it comes to idiots, Costello, you can go to the head of the class.
Thank you, Mr. Rabbit, and I sure worked hard enough to get there.
That's what I thought. Hey, wait a minute. Where have you been all week? Lou.
I don't know what I'm doing tonight.
I know. But where have you been all week?
Monday, my girlfriend gave me a fancy pink silk union suit, all trimmed with lace. I wore it Tuesday and got hit by a car. They took me to the hospital. I'll never wear that union suit again.
Why not?
It took me 3 days and took myself out of the maternity ward.
They treat you nice in the hospital?
Nice. They sure did. Every day for dessert, I had a California sundae. It's 2 scoops of tutti frutti ice cream with pineapple, strawberry, apricots, prunes, pecans, choose nuts, whipped cream, and 6 maraschino cherries. And they serve it all in the hospitals now.
Well, wait a minute. Why would any hospital want to serve concoctions like that?
Can you think of a better place to get sick?
Well, anyway, you had a good rest, Lou.
Oh, no, I didn't. I didn't sleep a wink in that hospital.
Well, how did you sleep? On your right side or your left side?
I sleep flat on my back.
There you are. That's your trouble. People who sleep on their back all the time get their back out of shape and all crooked.
You must sleep on your face.
Well, While you're in the hospital, you should have consulted a psychiatrist, Lou.
A psychiatrist?
Yes.
Any guy who would go to a psychiatrist ought to have his head examined.
Costello, how did you ever become such a complete idiot?
I got friends in Washington.
I...
You know, Abbott, they loved me in that hospital. One of the doctors introduced me to a beautiful nurse, and she invited me to a party.
Well, now, that's very nice of her.
I thought so.
And now that you're out of the hospital, you should reciprocate.
Definitely, because
Certainly.
after all... Huh? Could I have that again?
Sure. I said reciprocate. Don't you always reciprocate after you've been invited to a party?
That all depends on what they serve.
No, Costello. Reciprocate means to return a favor. For instance, if a friend of mine got me a date with a beautiful blonde, I reciprocate. If he gets me a date with a gorgeous redhead, I reciprocate. Now, when somebody gets you a date with a beautiful girl, what do?
I do the same thing you do, only I don't lie about it.
Never mind that. What was in that big package that arrived for you this afternoon?
It's a new television set I bought for Uncle Mike.
Oh.
I got to go right back home and hook it up.
Oh, what does your Uncle Mike want with a television set?
He wants to see what Dr. IQ does with that woman in the balcony.
Your Uncle Mike. All he does is listen to the radio. And now with a television set, he'll never get out of the house.
Oh, Uncle Mike does all right. He enters all the radio contests. Last week he was in a contest for a beer company. He had to send in 25 beer bottle caps and a slogan.
Well, did he write a good slogan?
After 25 bottles of beer, he couldn't even see the paper.
Well, anyway, radio is a wonderful thing, Costello. Just think, it fills the air with voices and personalities of all the gorgeous Hollywood stars. What are you doing?
Filling my lungs with Rita Hayworth.
Rita Hayworth is all right, but she's just like any other girl.
What do you mean?
Well, take away her beautiful hair and her lovely complexion. What have you got?
I don't know, but you can send it over to my house in the morning.
You certainly love the California girls, don't you?
Yeah. When I was back home in Patterson, New Jersey, I said to my mother, I said, Mom, take me out west where men are men and the women are...
Women are what?
That's all. Take me out west where women are.
What makes you think the women in Hollywood go for you?
Well, I'm a pretty regular guy and a pretty popular guy, Abbott. The day we moved to Los Angeles, I won a citywide contest.
A citywide contest? What for?
For being the whitest guy in the city. And they gave me a beautiful chicken as a prize, a Rhode Island purple. She lays 30 eggs a day.
Now, wait a minute. Now, let's straighten this out. You mean a Rhode Island red?
Abbott, when a chicken lays 30 eggs a day, she's purple.
Costello, I've come to the conclusion that you're the most stupid man in the world. Even as a child, you were stupid.
Oh, no, I wasn't. Back in Patterson, when I was only 1 year old, I proved that I was the smartest baby in town.
How'd you do it?
One day I was playing around the stove. I picked up a red-hot coal. Nobody had to tell me to put it down.
Hey, Uncle Louie, pitch a couple to me, will you?
That's Abbott's nephew, folks. Norman, what are you doing dressed up in a baseball uniform? The baseball season is over.
Oh, let him alone, Costello. Norman likes baseball.
Yeah, I'm nuts about baseball. I play baseball all the time. I live baseball. I eat baseball. And when I go to sleep at night, I even dream of baseball.
Don't you ever dream about girls?
What, and this my turn at bat?
Get out of here.
Okay, but before I go, I'd like to tell you I sure like that moron tie you're wearing.
You mean maroon tie. A moron is an idiot.
Yeah, and only an idiot would wear that tie. Now get out!
I mean, after all, I don't like that guy, Abbott.
Why?
All day long dreams about baseball. He ain't got no romance in his soul.
Oh, so what? You don't know anything about romance either.
You should have been with me last night in a cozy living room, sitting on a love seat, all the lights out, and it was pitch dark.
Wait a minute. Did you have a girl with you?
What for? I'm not afraid of the dark.
Well, hello, boy.
Hey, look, Costello. It's our lovely new secretary, Viola Vaughn.
Gee, Viola, you look lovely tonight. That's a gorgeous dress you're wearing.
Oh, well, thank you. Do you think it brings out my curves?
Does it? Yes. It curves here and it curves there, and some of it don't even stay on the road.
Oh, talk sense, Costello. Viola, how do you like California compared to New York?
Well, it's wonderful, but the time confuses me. You know, California is the only state that still has daylight saving time.
You know, that daylight saving time is kind of silly to me, too. You really don't save anything with daylight saving time.
You don't?
No. It's just like sitting down. What you lose in the front, you gain in the back.
Nah, never mind him, Viola. What do you hear from that uncle of yours in London?
Oh, I received a postcard from my uncle this morning. He's having a fine time. He spent the weekend boating on the English Channel.
Boating? My cousin Vincent swam across the English Channel underwater.
Oh,
Underwater?
Why, that's preposterous. Any man who did that would drown.
The funeral is Wednesday. Gee, Viola, I'm glad you came to work for us. How about giving a little kiss?
Oh, you Hollywood men are so impetuous. The first night you meet a girl, you want to kiss.
Well, I mean, a guy like me has to. They don't show up the second night.
Oh, Viola, I've noticed you've been rather cool towards Costello. You never put your arms around him or nothing.
Well, I was sort of waiting until...
Till you know me a little longer?
No, till my arms get a little longer.
By the way, isn't today your birthday, Viola?
Yes, it is. I'm 18.
Think of it. You're sweet 18, and I'm sweet 24.
Well, what about me?
Abbott, you're a sour 65.
Never mind that. You're a cheapskate, Costello. It's Viola's birthday, and you didn't get her a present.
Oh, that's all right, Costello. Even if you don't express your felicitations on my natal day with a tangible token of remembrance, I want you to know that I understand.
Good. Now that you understand it, explain it to me.
Viola, Costello's very forgetful about birthdays. Last week was my wife's birthday, and he didn't send her a present either.
No, I didn't get your wife a present, but don't forget I wrote her a poem.
You wrote Abbott's wife a poem?
Yes.
How does it go?
To Miss Betty Abbott. Your clothes are really awfully cheap. And speaking of your sweater, give back the wool to those poor sheep. On them it looks much better.
That's a terrible poem, Costello.
Abbott's got a terrible wife.
Now, you'll have to forgive Costello, Viola. He is ignorant and he's uneducated.
Now, just a minute, Abbott. That's
What do you
not
mean,
so now,
just a
because
minute?
I went to school and I studied science. For instance, I know that the sun is 5 billion miles from the Earth, and the light from the sun comes down to the Earth in exactly 30 seconds.
Isn't that wonderful, Costello?
What's wonderful about it? It's downhill all the way.
Oh, that's all.
Before we go back to work tonight, let's hear from our blonde cutie pie, little bitsy Virginia Maxie.
Quanta la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta. Quanta la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta. We gotta get going, where we going, what are we gonna do?
We're on our way to somewhere, the three of us and you. What'll we see there? Who will be there? What'll be the big surprise? There may be caballeros with dark and flashing eyes. We're on our way.
We're on our way.
Pack up your pack.
Pack up your pack.
And if we stay, we won't come back.
We won't come
How
back.
can we go? We haven't got a dime, but we're going, and we're going to have a happy time. Now, someone said they just came back from somewhere. A friend of mine that I don't even know. He said there's lots of fun if we can get there. If that's the case, that's the place we want to go. We gotta get going, where we going, what are we gonna do? We're on our way to somewhere, the three of us and you. What'll we see there? Who will be there? What'll be the big surprise? There may be caballeros with dark and flashing eyes. I'll take a train.
You'll take the train.
You take a boat.
We'll take the boat.
I'll ride a plane.
You'll take the plane.
You take the gun.
We'll ride the
Oh, we don't care. We'll either walk or climb, but we're going and we're gonna have a happy time. Quanta la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta. Quanta la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta, la gusta. We're going, we're gonna have a happy time.
All right, Costello, come out here. What's that you have in your hand?
It's a picture of my grandfather, General Stonewall Costello. What a hero, Abbott. He fought in the Spanish-American War. Every time he went off to battle, all the girls in Patterson would line up to kiss him goodbye.
Wait a minute. Every time he went to battle, all the girls in Patterson kissed him goodbye?
Yes, the war ended in 1898. But they couldn't get Grandpa to stop fighting till 1935.
He must have been some fighter.
Yes, he taught me to fight. I became quite a boxer. I remember my first fight. In the third round, my manager threw the towel in, and I won.
Well, wait a minute. How could you win if your manager threw in the towel?
He threw it over my opponent's eyes.
You dummy, you're no fighter. You're not an athlete. There's not an athlete in your whole family.
Oh, yes, there is. My brother Pat is a famous athlete. Just last week, he pitched a no-hit game.
Oh, lots of guys have pitched no-hit games.
In football?
Costello, you and your brother Pat are the dopiest guys in the world.
Yes, there ain't nobody a dopier than him and me.
Well, no, that's incorrect. You should say there's nobody dopier than he and I.
Okay, there's nobody a dopier than him and you.
Well, never mind that. How's Pat getting along with his new girl?
Oh, well, for a while he had it pretty tough. Every time Pat went over to see her, her brother would throw him out of the house. Last week, her brother went away to college, and things are different.
What do you mean?
Now her father throws him out of the house.
Is Pat working?
Oh, yes, he's got a job with a milk company, and he works like a horse.
What does he do?
He pulls one of the wagons.
Costello,
What do you want, Norman?
are you going to do another one of them Sam Shovel misery programs tonight?
Look, Norman, look at the script. That's mystery.
I listen to the show, brother. It's misery.
Abbott, if you don't keep that nephew out of here, I'm going to flatten him. I'll hit him in the head so hard that his shoes will have 3 tongues.
I'll lay off him. Leave him alone. Maybe he doesn't like your Sam Shovel program.
Well, everyone else does. Now, here's a letter I got from one of my fans this morning. Listen to this. Dear Lou Costello, I listened to your Sam Shovel detective program last week. You were so funny, I laughed my head off. I'm coming to the studio to see you tonight.
Miss Costello, there's a man out here to see you.
What does he look like?
How can I tell? His head is off.
Well, enough of this nonsense, Costello. What is your Sam Shovel detective story about tonight?
It's one of my greatest cases, Abbott. I call it the case of the Russian diplomat who took the 6 p.m. boat back to Russia, or Red Sails in the Sunset.
Well, it sounds interesting. Let's get on with the case.
Fair enough.
And now, the makers of Swanee River Cold Cream bring you the adventures of Sam Shovel, private detective. But first, a word about our product. Swanee River Cold Cream is the only cold cream that contains peanut butter. What a time-saving device this is. Ladies, now you can cream your face and have your lunch at the same time. And friends, remember, we can sell Swanee River Cold Cream cheaper than any other brand because we've done away with costly containers. We use no tubes, no boxes, no jars. Just walk into your drugstore, ask for Swanee River Cold Cream, and hold out your hand. And now for the further adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yeah, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. The detective business has been lousy lately. I ain't got a nickel to my name. I guess it's just as well. How would it sound if people called me Sam Shovel Nickel? Last night, somebody ransacked my office. They went over it with a fine-tooth comb. I know they went over it with a fine-tooth comb because this morning when I came in, the horsehair sofa had a part in it. I'm so mad I can see red.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Red. In the office across the court, I see the beautiful stenographer combing her hair. She just combed out her bangs. I'm a little thirsty. I think I'll have some orange juice. I squeeze my orange juice the hard way. The hard way. I place the orange in my mouth, stick my head in the doorway, and slowly close the door. On my way to the office, I found a woman's handbag. I wonder what's in it. I decide to empty the contents on my desk. That takes care of the change purse. I wonder what's in the bag. I look at my appointment book. I see that tonight I have a date with a gorgeous peach. I think I'll break it and make a date with a girl. I look out the window. In the garage across the street, the mechanic is working on a car.
On your mark, get set, go!
No matter what car comes in, he always races the motor. Coming up the street, I see my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad. What a cop. Whenever the police department makes a raid, Lieutenant Abbott is a spearhead. Not that he's so brave, but he's the only cop in the department with a head like a spear. Abbott is a quiet cop. Every Sunday he sits home and listens to the radio. He's trying to win the jackpot on Stop the Music. He's trying to win it the hard way. The hard way. He has no telephone. It's a chilly day, and I've got a fire going in the kitchenette of my little office. There's a kettle boiling on the stove.
Hello, Sam Shovel. What's that smell coming from your kitchenette?
It's my washing.
I thought it smelled too good to be your cooking. I'm mighty tired, Sam.
So are your jokes.
I'm really tired. I just been out on a wild goose chase.
What were you chasing?
A wild goose.
Lieutenant Abbott used to be a comedian. Tried to make a living. He tried to make a living with his monkey shines. He had to give it up. There's no money in shining monkeys. Lieutenant Abbott, I've got bad news for you. Your cook was picked up this morning for passing a bad check.
Whose check was it?
Yours.
That's not funny, Sam Shovel. You weren't a friend of mine, I'd punch you in the nose.
I knew Lieutenant Abbott was only bluffing. He couldn't punch his way out of a paper bag. But that don't worry him. After all, how often do you get stuck in a paper bag?
Oh, wait a minute. Cut the small-town talk, Sam. Lefty Lumphead is in town, and he's gunning for you.
I know that, Lieutenant. I've already notified the police. They've thrown a net over the city. I'll call headquarters and see how they're making out. Hello, Chief.
Yes?
This is Sam Shovel. Have you got that net out for Lefty Lumphead?
Yes.
How's the net working? Did you catch Lefty yet?
No, the net's working fine. Already we've caught 3 butterflies.
Sam, this is really serious. Lefty Lumphead is a killer. He's out to get you. He may be on his way here now, and I know you're afraid of him.
Me, afraid of Lefty Lumphead? Pish, tush. I'd like to see the day I'd be afraid of him.
Hello, Sam.
This is the day. Before me stood the toughest killer on the coast. When he was 8 years old, he shot his father and mother. Then he asked the judge for mercy on the grounds that he was an orphan. What a tough mug. He's got cauliflower ears. Never was a fighter, it's just that his ears was made out of cauliflower. I noticed Lieutenant Abbott's hand reach for his holster. Abbott's gun barked.
Okay, coppers, I got you covered. Sam Shovel, I got one bullet in this gun. It's for you. I'm going to give you a break, Sam. I'll put that bullet wherever you say.
If it's all the same to you, put it in Lieutenant Abbott.
You're pretty clever, Lefty Lumphead. You're one of the smartest burglars in the business. But there's something I want to ask you.
Huh?
How is it you've never been caught robbing a house?
It's easy. It's easy. I only rob houses on Thursday nights.
Why did you pick Thursday nights?
Because Abbott and Costello are on the air Thursday nights, and, brother, when they're on the air, nobody stays home.
Lefty, that's a lie. Abbott and Costello are on right now. I'll prove it's a lie by checking with the police department. Hello, police department. Can you tell me...
We ain't got time to talk to you now.
Why?
Every house in town is being robbed.
I had taken all I could stand from that killer. Quick as a flash, I pulled my gun.
Sam, Lefty is seriously wounded. Your bullet went through his shoulder.
Call the hospital.
What have you done? What have you done? Sam Shovel, you shot my boyfriend.
Lefty's girl, the most gorgeous moll in the underworld. She's beautiful.
Look, he's bleeding.
Call the hospital.
He's the only boyfriend I've got, and he's liable to die.
Call the hospital.
If he dies, who's going to love me and squeeze me and kiss me?
Call the morgue.
Well, Costello, I got to give you credit. You were in there pitching tonight.
Yes, and I'd like to give a little credit to our team, Abbott. Everybody knows I'm always pitching, and Abbott, you're always catching. But we got other players on the team.
Oh, sure. What's on second?
No, we're not going to start that. I just wanted to say that our writing staff is headed by Eddie Foreman with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Len Stern.
That's right. And Matty Malnick leads the band.
And all this nonsense is put together by our producer, Charles Vander. And we'd love to have you all with us again next Thursday night.
Thanks to them for working, and thanks to you for listening. Hope you'll be back next Thursday night. Good night, folks.
Good night. Good night to everybody in Patterson. Good night.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
Hey, Abbott, what time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure. Chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Stop that yelling, Costello. Come over here. I need $10,000 in a hurry. Will you loan it to me? Ha ha! Haven't got that much, huh? Well, how about 8,000? Ha 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 ha! How about 5,000? 1,000? Costello, when are you going to stop that laughing?
When you get down to about $3.25.
I should have known better. If you stopped chasing girls, you'd have money.
I don't chase women, Abbott. I'm repulsive to women.
Repulsive to women? Who told you that?
Women.
What? Haven't you ever had a real girl, Lou?
Oh, yes, I have. Once, Abbott. Her name was Mabel Kumquat. Dear old Mabel Kumquat. Sweet kid.
Not bad.
Met her at a delicatessen factory in Patterson. I was a salami sniper.
A salami sniper?
Snipper.
All right, so what is it?
Well, a salami snipper? That's an endless chain of salami would go by me. Every 20 inches, I would go snip, snip.
Go on.
One day I looked up and there stood Mabel. I stood there looking at her for 15 minutes.
And what happened?
Abbott, did you ever see a salami 2 miles long?
And that was the start of your romance, eh?
Oh, yes. One night I took her up to Bung Mountain.
Wait a minute. There's no Bung Mountain in Patterson.
Abbott, when I take a girl up a mountain to a mountain, it's Bung. Then we became engaged. I slipped the ring on her finger. I didn't have a ring, so I used a cigar band.
Where did you get the cigar band?
Mabel happened to be smoking a white owl at the time. I know it was a white owl. I could smell the feathers.
Costello, you could graduate with honors from an idiot's college.
Thank you, Professor.
Hey, wait a minute, boys. Here's a serious-looking fella trying to get a word in edgewise. Let's see what he has to say.
Costello, stop that yelling. Where have you been?
I've been hiding my Christmas present.
Have you finished with your Christmas shopping, Lou?
No. On the way down here, I stopped at Nancy's department store, and boy, was that place crowded.
Lots of people, eh?
Ah, but it was so crowded. While I was in there, my belt broke, and it was 20 minutes before my pants fell down. Another thing, I can't stand those women shoppers.
What's wrong with women shoppers?
Well, I was standing by the notion counter. There was one woman there. She was turning everything bottom side up to see where it was made.
She was turning everything bottom side up?
Everything bottom side up. The floor worker saved me just in time.
Never mind that.
Would have got me for $1.94.
Look, Lou, skip that. Did you write your letter to Santa Claus yet?
Did I write my letter to Santa Claus?
Yes.
I ain't gonna tell you.
Oh, come on. Did you or did you not write a letter to Santa Claus?
Well, if you must know, I did. And I asked him to bring me a new bicycle.
But Santa Claus brought you a new bicycle, a brand new bicycle, 2 years ago.
Yes, but don't you think I'm old enough now to have a boy's bicycle?
Hello. I hate to interrupt your program, but I've got some bad news for you.
Out with it, man. What is it?
Mr. Costello, your Uncle Tom was just run over by a truck on Wilshire Boulevard.
My Uncle Tom was run over by a truck on Wilshire Boulevard? Thanks for telling me. Abbott.
What?
You got a pencil?
What do you want with a pencil?
I want to cross Uncle Tom off my Christmas list.
How can you say that, Costello? How can you be so heartless? Isn't there any love in your family around Christmas time?
Oh, sure. Our family all love each other. Last Christmas, my Aunt May gave my Uncle Mike a broken arm for Christmas.
A broken arm?
Yep.
What kind of a Christmas present is that?
Well, after she broke it, she wrapped it up as a gift.
I'll bet your house is a pleasant place around Christmas.
Oh, you should have been there last year. Aunt Alma called Uncle Jim a no good, and Aunt May hit her over the head with a vase. Then my uncle hit my brother Pat over the head with a cane-bottom chair, and then Uncle Tom hit my cousin Vincent with the umbrella stand, and my sister Marie fired 3 shots at my sister-in-law.
What happened?
Well, before you knew it, an argument started. Well, I want to tell you something, Abbott, and speaking of arguments, what are you going to get your wife for Christmas?
Well, I gave her some money. She wanted to buy herself a new corset.
Lovely.
Yes, but she can't seem to find one that will fill her budget.
She's so fat, nothing would fit her budget.
Costello, my wife is just pleasantly plump. She's not fat.
That reminds me, Abbott. My sister would like to borrow one of your wife's stockings to hang over the fireplace on Christmas Eve.
What does she want with one of my wife's stockings?
She's expecting a grand piano.
Are you trying to insinuate that my wife Betty is fat?
Well...
Did you ever see her in a bathing suit?
Yes, I have.
Repulsive, isn't it? Wait a minute. Who put that in this script?
I told you, Abbott, you should have bought those writers presents.
Did you buy the presents?
No, but I asked them what they wanted, and they said to me, Louie, you know what we like best. You just go out and get it. Wrap it up and put it under the Christmas tree.
Well, why didn't you do it?
Abbott, you can't wrap up a saloon.
Well, if you didn't get the writers anything, you should have at least bought their wives something.
I did, Abbott. I gave each one of them a corsage.
No, not corsage.
Corsage.
That's corsage. Spelled A-G-E is pronounced like odd, as in corsage or garage. Now, where did you get them?
From the man who picks up the garbage. Well, I gotta go now, Abbott. I gotta do some shopping for Louis B. Mayer. He wants me to get a box of cigars. He's gonna give them to Margaret O'Brien for Christmas.
Now, wait a minute. Why would you want to give Margaret O'Brien a box of cigars for Christmas?
He wants to stunt her growth.
All right, Costello, that did it. Now I'm going to tell you what I think of you. You're the lousiest comedian on the radio. You tell the worst jokes on the air, and furthermore...
It's my brother-in-law.
I wouldn't come to see your show again if you gave me $1 million. You stink.
Sounded good, Lou.
This guy means it. Tough guy, huh? Do you want to step outside and say that?
Certainly I'll step outside and say it. Why?
Well, there's a lot of people out there in front that couldn't get in the studio. Maybe they'd like to hear it, too.
That's what I thought. You're a yellow rat.
A yellow rat, that did it. I'm not taking that sitting down.
Oh, you're not, eh?
No. He got me, Abbott.
Where'd you get you, Costello?
As I said before, I'm not taking this sitting down.
Hello, boys.
Hey, look, Costello, it's our secretary, Viola Vaughn.
Why, Costello, I didn't expect to see you here tonight. I thought you'd be up at the North Pole looking for Santa Claus.
Nah, it's too cold up there. My Uncle Jim moved up there to the North Pole. Last I heard of him, he was keeping company with a girl polar bear, and he was going to get married.
To a girl polar bear? What stopped them?
Her parents objected.
If I remember right, your Uncle Jim took your cousin Vincent to Alaska with him, didn't he?
Yes, and one day Vincent was fishing for whales. He hooked one and started to pull in his line. Then the whale pulled, then Vincent pulled, then the whale pulled.
Where's Vincent now?
I don't know, but every time I get a postcard from him, he sends regards from Jonah.
Viola, you look so pretty. Why don't you and I step out together after the show? I'm in a gay mood tonight. I'm feeling my oats.
Yes, Abbott. Have you been out to lunch with Trigger again?
There's no reason why Viola shouldn't go out with me. I'm a regular ladies' man. Why, women throw themselves at my feet.
I don't blame him. Anything to get away from that face.
Costello, it's my turn to go out with Viola. Why, you've been over to her house 5 nights running.
Oh, no, Mr. Abbott. Only 4 nights running. Last night my father didn't chase him. Look, there's no use in you boys fighting over me. I want to find a big, strong, robust, romantic man.
How about me?
Okay, you can help me look.
Costello, I don't blame Viola for not wanting to go out with you. You're fat, you're ugly, your front tooth is missing.
Oh, no, it's not. I got it right here in my pocket.
Costello, honey, what are you going to get me for Christmas? You know, I need a new car.
A new car?
Well, Costello, as soon as a new car prices come down a little, maybe you can get her a new car.
I don't think so, Abbott. I went to a dealer yesterday, and I said, how long will it be before I can get a new car for $900? He felt my pulse and says, you'll never make it.
Oh, forget about Viola. We've got a lot of people on this show, and we've got to get them Christmas presents. Come on. Let's go across the street to the department store. Gee, this store is crowded. Look over there. It's our band leader, Matty Malnick.
Hiya, fellas. I'm looking to buy some records. Costello, do you know where the music department is?
No, I don't.
Well, you take down this aisle to the escalator, then you take the escalator to the next floor, then you go towards the front of the store.
Just a minute, wait a minute. You asked me
I asked you what?
how to get to the music department.
Well, you go down this aisle to the escalator, then you're right in.
Come on, now, get out of here. Matty Malnick.
Now, look, Costello.
Some musician. He just don't give a toot.
Look, Costello. Costello, there's Santa Claus in the toy department.
Hey, come on over there. I want to talk to him. Are you Santa Claus?
Oh, yes. I'm Santa Claus. Yes, little man. Oh! What's the idea of kicking me in the leg?
That's for last year.
Costello, that's no way to act. Santa Claus is here to find out what you want for Christmas. Now, go ahead and tell him what you want for Christmas.
Gee, Santa Claus, I wish that Christmas morning I could find Rita Hayworth in my stocking.
With those fat legs of yours, you'd have plenty of room for the Andrews sisters.
Say, Santa Claus, that was pretty good.
Oh, it's nothing. I tell those jokes all the time up at the North Pole.
Who's your straight man?
A penguin.
You want to trade?
No, I don't want to trade. I'm too fond of this penguin. I keep him in a bottle of ink.
Oh, a fountain penguin.
Santa Claus, Costello's just a kid at heart. He craves affection. The thing for you to do is mother him.
Oh, well, that's different.
Sure.
Here. Come on, get up on my knee, fat boy. Now, put your head under my beard. Now I've got you.
Santa Claus, what are you doing? I told you to mother him.
Oh, I thought you said smother him.
Break it up, men, but it's time to change the subject for just about 60 seconds.
Our musical Christmas gift to all of you, Hal Winters in a Christmas Song, along with Matty Malnick and his music.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping, and I brought some corn for popping. The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. When we finally kiss goodnight, how I'll hate going out in the storm. But if you'll really hold me tight, all the way home I'll be warm. The fire is slowly dying, and my dear, we're still goodbying. But as long as you love me so, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Summer song by Hal Winters. Hey, Abbott.
Right.
My brother Pat just told me some wonderful news. Tomorrow he starts playing with the girls in Phil Spitali's orchestra.
What instrument will he play?
No instrument. He's just going to play with the girls.
I thought your brother was a musician.
No, he's a singer. He sings just like Nelson Eddy.
Does he sing short and bread?
Well, he could, but the places he sings in are so small and narrow, he can't sing short and bread. He's got to sing right crisp.
Never mind that. What are you doing with that newspaper?
I wanted to show it to you, Abbott. My Sam Shovel Detective series is becoming so popular the newspapers have taken it off the radio page and put it on the front page. Look.
Wait a minute. I don't see it on the front page.
There it is. There it is. Under crimes committed in Los Angeles today. And besides that, I'm getting more fan mail than ever. Listen to this one. Dear Lou Costello, if your Sam Shovel Detective series is not the funniest program on the air, then I'm not the next president of the United States.
Who's it from?
Tom Dewey.
Well, never mind that. What is your Sam Shovel Detective mystery for tonight?
It's one of my latest cases, Abbott. I call it the case of Clarence, the dress designer who gave himself up to the police, or I'm all yours in buttons and bows.
And now to the further adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, private detective. I'm sitting here in my little office. It's mighty chilly in here. I think I'll throw another log on the fire. Every time I build a log fire in my office, the landlord complains. Maybe it's because I have no fireplace. I pick up the newspaper. I drop it on my desk. It was the Mirror. I read the one ads. Woman who washes Mondays and Tuesdays wants place to hang out on Wednesdays. Here's another one. Wanted man to teach nuclear division of atomic astrophysical cyclotronic fissures. No experience necessary. I glance out of my window to see what's playing in the movie across the street.
Chicago. Cleveland. Boston.
Must be that new picture, The Cry of the City. Next door to the movie is a Hollywood nightclub. Those Hollywood nightclubs cut the liquor so much the bartenders have to have a barber's license. In the winter, they have to put alcohol in the whiskey to keep it from freezing. I remember once my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad, was so disgusted that he went into that joint to drink himself to death. He didn't get drunk, but there was so much water in the whiskey he nearly drowned. Suddenly the phone rings. Sam Shovel speaking.
Sam Shovel, you're on the spot. Get wise to yourself. You've got to play ball with us.
Who are you?
UCLA football team. We'll play anybody.
One line went south. I look out the window again. Crowds, nothing but crowds. Everybody doing the last-minute Christmas shopping. The crowds give me an idea. I'm going to write to my congressman and have him change Christmas to April. The stores aren't so crowded then. In the crowd, I see my pal, Lieutenant Abbott. Abbott is the cheapest guy in the world all year round. But when Christmas comes, he'd give you the shirt off his back. I know. Last year for Christmas, he gave me a dirty shirt. Lieutenant Abbott is a great detective. He worked on the Morelli case, and in 2 days he had it sewed up. Then he got the Murray case, and it only took him 3 days to sew that up. Then came the famous Lewis case. He sewed it up in 24 hours. He never carried a gun. Just a sewing machine and 3 extra bobbins.
Hello, Sam Shovel. Sam, tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and I dropped in to find out what you want for Christmas.
Well, I live just a stone's throw from Hetty Lamar's house, and my bedroom window is just a stone's throw from her window.
What do you want for Christmas, Sam?
A stone. Lieutenant, why don't you send me some mistletoe so I can kiss the girls under it?
That's not mistletoe. That's mistletoe. Missile, not muscle.
When I want to kiss a girl, I gotta use muscle.
Sam, I want you to help me on a job. I've been assigned to guard a department store during the Christmas rush.
I guarded the Broadway Hollywood store last Christmas. I put a man on the 5th Street door, a man on the Broadway door, a man on the 6th Street door.
How did you make out?
They didn't lose a single door. But all the windows were stolen.
Come on, Sam. We're going down to the store right now. Sam, this is a big store. They sell anything from sailboats to a pound of pecans.
I see. They got everything from sloop to nuts.
Come, gentlemen, you'll have to go to work right away. The shoplifters are stealing everything in aisle 9.
Where is aisle 9?
Well, this is aisle 7, that's aisle 8, and that... How do you like that? They stole aisle 9.
I think I like this job. Say, who is that gorgeous girl behind the crowded counter?
Oh, that's Miss Fairchild. She works in ladies' slippers.
She's beautiful. What else does she do?
She just works in ladies' slippers, that's all.
Hey, wait a minute. Look, that kid. He just stole a pair of roller skates. I'll get him.
You let go of me! Let me go, you copper! Let me go!
I'll teach you to steal. I'm going to lock you up.
Lieutenant, I'll take charge of this case. You keep your eye on the store. Come with me, son.
Please don't take me to jail. Please don't take me to jail.
I didn't have the heart to take that kid to jail. He didn't look like a bad kid. He was poorly dressed. His face was dirty, but I could still see some of his freckles. His name was Johnny. I took him to my little office and sat him down in a chair. I could see he was scared, plenty scared.
Gee, Mr. Shovel, I don't want to go to jail.
And I don't want you to go to jail, son. That's why I brought you here. Those were plenty expensive roller skates you took off the counter in that store, Johnny.
Oh, gee, they were only $1.98.
I'm not talking about the cost in money, Johnny. It's the cost in shame and disgrace. Not only to you, but to your mom and your dad.
Gee, I never thought about that. Mom and Dad.
That's the trouble with doing a wrong thing, Johnny. Most time it hurts others more than the guy that does it.
Gee, you're a funny guy. You're supposed to be a detective, a cop. Me and the kids in my neighborhood, we ain't got no use for coppers. But gee, I kind of like you. You don't talk like no cop. You're more like a friend.
Johnny, cops aren't bad guys. Every cop on the force wants to be the friends with every kid on his beat. When a kid is in trouble, if he'd run to a cop instead of away from him, he'd find out that cops are pretty regular fellows. You see, Johnny, you're a kid and I'm a cop. But lucky for us, we're both living in a wonderful country. A country that's interested in the welfare of its children. Our police know that no kid wants to be bad. It's just bad environment. Neglect on the part of parents. Lack of love and understanding. That makes a kid go wrong.
Yeah? And are you sure that all cops is my friends?
All cops, Johnny.
Aha! There you are.
Even him?
Even him.
I don't know what this is all about, Sam. I gotta get this kid to the lockup. This is Christmas Eve, and I gotta...
You gotta get a little of the Christmas spirit, Lieutenant. I think Johnny's very sorry for what he did. He'll never do it again.
Well, he tried to get away from me. He ran from the law. That's a sign of guilt.
Honest, I won't never do it again. I promise I won't.
Besides, Lieutenant, I think I've made Johnny understand that cops are his friends.
Yeah? Johnny, if you know that cops are a kid's best friends, you've really learned something.
Yeah, well, this
there's only one thing that puzzles me.
What is it, Johnny?
Well, Lieutenant Abbott's a cop, ain't he?
Yes?
Well, how could a guy with a face like that be any kind of a cop?
Oh, Johnny. Johnny, it's Christmas Eve. Listen.
Well, it's Christmas Eve again, and I promised my wife I'd be in church, saying my prayers and singing hymns. And here I am in this broken down...
You don't have to be in church for that, Lieutenant. How about it, Johnny? Know the words to that song?
Yeah, I think so.
Johnny, let's try it, huh? What do you say?
Costello will have the last word as usual. But before they do, we'd like you to ponder this.
Costello, before signing off, let's wish all our listeners a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And I'd also like to say Merry Christmas to our fine crew that helped us put the show together. Our writing staff, which is headed by Eddie Foreman, with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Leonard Stern.
Now, don't forget the swell boys of the band and our leader, Matty Melnick, and our vocalist, Hal Winters.
And a Merry Christmas to our producer, Charles Vander.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody, and Merry Christmas to everybody in Patterson, New Jersey, and all over the world.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. And be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
What time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure, with chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
All right. Cut out that yelling. What's all the excitement? Well, I went to a party last night, Abbott. There were 30 girls there. Not one of them would dance with me or even talk to me.
You didn't have any fun then?
No, I was as lonesome as Fed Ellen on Sunday night.
I thought you were such a big shot with the girls. I don't believe you ever had a girl.
Oh, yes, I did, Abbott. I had a very beautiful little blonde once, and everything was swell until one day she ran off to Florida. She married a guy, and now she has 5 children. After that, we just sort of drifted apart.
She had...
Why
don't you speak to my wife, Lou? She knows lots of nice girls.
No. Your wife don't like me, Abbott.
Well,
No.
if you hang around with her more, you'll eventually get under her skin.
Well, I guess one more lump won't hurt her.
How can you talk that way about my wife? Remember the first night you met her?
Yes. The minute she walked in the room, I said, there's either an ugly woman or a good-looking man.
Costello, do you know you're getting more stupid every day?
Gee, thanks, Abbott. I'm glad to know I'm not stagnating.
Oh, get it.
Before the boys get any further involved in nonsense, here's a thought that makes good sense.
Costello, stop that hollering. What's that thing you've got under your arm?
That's my new Harry Truman rifle.
The Harry Truman rifle?
Yes, a .48 repeater.
What happened to you last night? I called your house and you weren't home.
Well, I went to the movies, Abbott. I saw one of those old-time pictures. It was all about the Romans. They had a chariot race in it, and it was won by a guy named Ben-Hur.
Yeah. You dummy, you mean Ben-Hur, not him, her.
They were all dressed up in them bed sheets. You couldn't tell the hymns from the herd.
Well, if you'd gone to school, Lou, you'd known the story of Ben-Hur.
Did you go to school, Abbott?
Oh, certainly. I started in nursery school, then I went to kindergarten.
So what? I started in nursery school. I went to kindergarten.
And I went from kindergarten to grammar school.
So what? I went to kindergarten to grammar school.
I went from grammar school to high school.
Do you think there'll be a shortage of meatballs this summer?
Costello, you've got the brain of a monkey.
I'll bet you I have not.
Yeah? What do you want to bet?
15 bananas. Trying to insinuate that I'm ignorant? Abbott, you're nothing but a Hollywood character.
Oh, what's a Hollywood character?
A jerk with a personality.
I'll ignore that remark because of your ignorance.
Who's ignorant? When I went to school, I specialized in history. I can name off all the most important dates in history.
All right, go ahead. Name some important dates.
Oh, I will. There's 1492, 1776, 1812, 1917, Rita Hayworth.
Now, wait a minute. Rita Hayworth is not an important date.
Ali Khan seems to think so.
Costello, why don't you listen to me? Take my advice once in a while. I'm your friend. I realize that you're an idiot, and I want to assist you, Lou.
What good can you do me? You're just an assistant to an idiot.
Well, just look at you. You're dumpy, squatty.
Now, hold it, Abbott.
What do you mean?
Hold it.
What do you
I'll
mean?
go for so much, and that's all. Now, it's not my fault that I didn't grow tall like the other boys. When I was a little boy over in Scotland, I used to play the bagpipes, but it gave me pneumonia.
Wait a minute. Now, look. Wait a minute. How could playing the bagpipes give you pneumonia?
There was a leak in the bag, and the air kept blowing up my kilts. Instead of wearing a whisk broom in front of my kilts like the rest of the Scotsmen, I had to wear a hot water bottle.
Well, you must have had a very poor childhood, Costello.
I did, Abbott. We were very poor. My mother had to work, and she had to take in washing. She had to scrub office floors. She worked as a blacksmith. She drove an oil truck. And one time for 3 years, she worked in the daytime as a waitress and worked at night in a coal mine.
What did your father do?
He kept the books.
Well, I guess you had a pretty tough time when you were a kid.
Yes, I'll never forget the day my mother made my first pair of long pants. It had 12 buttons down the back and 4 pockets in the front.
Well, what did she make them out of?
My father's old vest. I was the only kid in school that had a watch fob hanging from a knee.
Were you very popular with the other kids in school, Lou?
Oh, I was a pitcher on a baseball team. What a pitcher I was. I had a drop ball, a slow ball, a curve ball.
Did you have a screwball?
That was before I met you, Abbott.
You dummy, you ought to be back in school right now.
For your information, Abbott, I'm keeping steady company with a red-headed school teacher.
What does she teach?
She has a high school class of men all over 40 years old.
40-year-old man? Why don't they go to college?
When she gets through teaching them, there's nothing else to learn.
Running around with a school teacher. Why don't you find a nice girl and get married?
I'm going to, Abbott, as soon as I get some money.
Money. Costello, don't worry about money. Do you realize what money is? Money is the root of all evil. Money's an invention of the devil. Money is filthy lucre. Money causes misery. Money. That's what I think of money.
May the Bank of America have mercy on your soul.
Costello, you don't need money. What you need is the love of a good woman. Find another girl like my wife, Betty.
You mean there's another girl like your wife, Betty?
Costello, I love my wife. My Betty's a real cookie.
Your wife is a cookie?
That's right.
Abbott, you just set baking back 20 years.
You'd be lucky to get a girl like my wife. My Betty is always straight from the shoulder.
Who wants a girl that's straight from the shoulder? I like the girl that curves.
Oh, Uncle Bud, something terrible just happened to me.
And this is really his Uncle Bud, and this is the nephew. We don't kid about it. He's got to work. Abbott's nephew. Pay attention to what he says, folks. This may be his last performance.
What is it, Norman? Nephew Norman? Why are you so excited?
Well, Uncle Bud, when I was coming through the pass in the mountains, a mountain lion jumped right in the car beside me.
Yes, then what happened?
The lion killed me!
Wait a minute, Norman. You're not dead. Stop crying. You're working on the Abbott and Costello show. You're still living.
You call this living?
Really, though, sincerely, there goes a brilliant boy. His brain is on a slow boat to the Mayo Brothers.
Now, you lay off, Norman. He's a very intelligent boy. He's always studying and reading. It wouldn't hurt you to do a little reading once in a while.
Oh, Abbott, I do plenty of reading. When I was 7 years old, I started my first book, Little Red Riding Hood. I rented it from the library. It's the last time I'll ever rent a book from the library.
Well, didn't you like Little Red Riding Hood?
Abbott, up to now, I owe that library $2,800. And Little Red Riding Hood has yet to meet the wolf.
Little Red Riding Hood. Why don't you read some of the newer books?
I just bought Gypsy Rose Lee's new book. It's a story of her life.
Well, what does Gypsy Rose Lee call her new book?
The Leg and I.
Why don't you read something educational, Lou?
I am, Adam. I just bought a book on inventions. It tells all about new gadgets. I bought one yesterday for my Aunt May.
What kind of a gadget did you buy for your Aunt May?
It's a new girl that's made from surplus paratroopers harness. And it's a handy little thing. At night, she doesn't have to undress.
She doesn't?
No, she just jumps off the top of the dresser and pulls the ripcord.
That's ridiculous. But, hey, I understand you're working on some kind of a silly invention yourself.
And my invention is all finished, too, Abbott. It's a new kind of perfume. And all the girls in Hollywood are going to go crazy about it.
All the girls in Hollywood are going crazy about your perfume? Why?
It smells like money. Gave a bottle of it to my Aunt May. Boy, did it make her popular.
Your Aunt May was never popular.
Is that so? Back in Patterson, New Jersey, she was so popular, every guy in town used to drink champagne out of her slipper.
And what did it get her?
She's got the only big toe in the world that belongs to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Come back here this instant. Eat your spinach. I won't eat it. I won't eat it. No, I won't eat it.
Mister, what's going on here?
That's this darn kid of mine. He won't eat his spinach. Junior, you've got to eat your spinach.
I ain't gonna do it. I don't like spinach.
Well, you eat your spinach or Saturday, I'll make you go to see Abbott and Costello's picture, Mexican Hayride.
No, you can't do that to me. I'll eat my spinach to my father's head.
I'd like to take that kid over to Santa Anita Saturday.
What for?
I want to drop him in a claiming race.
Well, hello, boy.
Hey, look, Costello, it's Viola.
Viola, you look very lovely tonight.
Viola, I understand that you and Costello had a date last night. Where'd you go?
Well, Costello had a terrible time making up his mind where to take me.
Well, you see, I was trying to make up my mind between Ciro's and the Macombo. But we finally went.
Where?
To a hamburger stand between Ciro's and the Macombo.
Well, don't you worry, Viola. After we're married, things will be different. We'll have lots of little ones, and they'll all look like me.
Oh, gee, I'd always planned on having children.
I'd plan on having a few laughs here. Are you sure you're reading the same script?
Lou, you shouldn't be jealous of me. I don't want to be a comedian. I don't want to make people laugh.
Okay, then you read my lines.
Costello, you can't be funny without me. You need me. Why, where would Edgar Bergen be without Charlie McCoffey? Where would Amos be without Andy?
That's true.
Certainly. One thing goes with the another. Like Dorothy L'Amour. Where would she be without her sarong?
I don't know, but I sure would like to be there.
Costello, I think you're girl crazy. I'm not the girl for you.
But, Viola, you can't leave me. What would I do without you?
Don't worry about that. I'll fix you up with a girlfriend of mine. Oh, you'll be just crazy about this girl. When she meets you, she'll rush over and she'll throw her arms around you like this.
Yes.
And she'll squeeze you like this.
Yes.
And she'll kiss you like this, and this, and this, and this. There, now what do you think of that?
When am I going to meet this girl?
Viola, why don't you take pity on Costello and marry him? Then you'll be known as Mrs. Louis G. Costello.
G? Oh, what does the G stand for, Costello?
Don't you tell her, Abbott.
Come on now. What does it stand for? George?
No, I don't want to tell you.
Oh, come on, Costello. What does the G stand for?
Oh, do I have to tell you?
Yes.
Stands for Gloria.
Gloria?
Yes, my mother always wanted a girl, and my father didn't have the heart to tell her.
Viola, why don't you forget Costello and come to the movies tonight and see our latest picture, Mexican Hayride?
Oh, thanks, Bud, but I saw the picture already.
Oh, you did? Tell me. How did you like my acting?
Well, it was...
I'd say...
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me put it this way.
Sure.
You know how Van Johnson has that dramatic touch?
Oh, yes.
And how Clark Gable has that forceful personality?
Yes.
And how Gregory Peck gives that little artistic extra something?
Yeah. But what about me?
Costello, can you drive a taxi cab?
Oh, now get this girl out of here, will you?
Come on.
And that's only half the fun, folks. Just as many laughs yet to come. But first, listen to this.
Now the spotlight turns to Hal Winters, our singing star. Here he is with Matty Malnick and his orchestra.
I caught you, sir, having a look at her as she went strolling by. Now, didn't your heart Boom, 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 boom. And didn't you sigh a sigh? I warn you, sir, don't start to dream of her. Just bid such thoughts be gone, or it'll be boom, 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 boom. From then on, for once in love with Amy, always in love with Amy, ever and ever fascinated by her, sets your heart afire to stay. Once you're kissed by Amy, tear up your list, it's Amy. Fly her with bonbons, poetry and flowers, moon a million hours away. You might be quite the fickle-hearted rover, so carefree and bold, who loves a girl and later thinks it over and just quits cold. But once in love with Amy, always in love with Amy, ever and ever sweetly you romance her. Trouble is, the answer will be that Amy'd rather stay in love with me.
Hey, Costello, come here. How did you get your clothes so dirty? Just look at your coat. It's torn and your shirt is ripped and,
That ain't my fault, Abbott.
What?
I was out on one of my Sam Shovel detective cases last night. I investigated a case of a robbery at the fraternity house in UCLA. But I miscalculated. Got into one of the girls' dormitories.
How did you manage to do that?
By careful miscalculation.
Costello, instead of running around nights on those silly Sam Shovel cases, you should stay home.
Oh, I do stay home a lot, Abbott. Every night last week I stayed home. I cleaned the house. I got a terrible servant problem. I find it very difficult to hold a maid.
Now, what makes it so difficult for you to hold a maid?
My mother keeps walking in the room.
Never mind that. I understand you took your brother Pat to the movies last night.
Oh, yes. But I ain't taking Pat to the movies no more. He acts very strange. The minute we got into the movie, Pat put his hat under the seat.
Well, what's strange about that? What's the men put their hat under the seat?
While their head is still in it.
Oh, talk sense. Hey, wait a minute. Come here. What is that big manuscript you're carrying under your arm?
Well, I didn't want to tell you, but it's a book that I wrote.
A book you wrote?
It's the first chapter. The hero is threatened by a mad doctor who tries to remove his head. In the second chapter, he meets a demented butcher who tries to put him in a meat grinder. Then it ends where 3 maniacs tie him to a tree and a squadron of wild woodpeckers peck holes in him. But nobody wants to publish it.
Why not?
I guess people are sick of them mushy love stories.
What is your Sam Shovel detective story about tonight?
Well, tonight I do one of my most famous cases. I call it the case of the photographer who was stuck up in a dark room, or he was caught with his prints down.
Well, it sounds terrible, but let's do it.
And now, the makers of Bebop Bubble Bath present the adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective. But first, a word about our product, Bebop Bubble Bath. Friends, would you like Bubbles in your bathtub? You would? Well, why not call up Bubbles and see if she needs a bath? Ladies, try Bebop Bubble Bath. We don't ask you to buy the large size, mind you. Just try a trial size package. It contains a 7-year supply. You'll find that if you use Bebop Bubble Bath every day for 7 years, you'll have skin just like a baby. A baby alligator. Listen to what people all over the country are saying about Bebop Bubble Bath. In Kansas.
Give me Bebop Bubble Bath.
In New Jersey.
Give me Bebop Bubble Bath.
In Oregon.
Give me Bebop Bubble Bath.
In Virginia.
Give me liberty or give me death.
That Patrick Henry never gives up. And now the makers of Bebop Bubble Bath bring you your favorite thriller mystery. Here he is, Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes. I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. The detective business has been mighty slow lately. Last night, having nothing to do, I went to a big public library and buried my nose in a book. This morning, I had a heck of a job finding it. I forgot what book I buried it in. Here comes my secretary now.
Did you call me Mr. Shovel?
Don't be silly. Why should I call you Mr. Shovel? My name is Mr. Shovel. By the way, Miss Jones, did you find the file on that crook, Joe Kirk?
What's his name?
Who?
Joe Kirk.
Never heard of him. Miss Jones, you and I have got to work late in the office tonight. Are you prepared?
Oh, yes. I brought my brass knuckles, my fencing mask, and a baseball bat.
Clever girl. She's so stylish. She was voted one of the 10 best-dressed women in Azusa. That's not so remarkable when you consider there's only 9 other women in Azusa. Suddenly, the inter-office communication system buzzes. It's my secretary. She speaks.
Mr. Shovel, there are 2 men here to see you about a case. Mr. Cohen and Chief Lightfoot Running Deer.
I'll see the Indian first.
You can go in now, Mr. Cohen.
The cops have certainly got their hands full these days. Full of 5s, 10s, 20s. I think of my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad. Abbott has been on the police force for 20 years. He knows which side his bread is buttered on. He can take any piece of bread and say, this side is buttered.
Sam, I'm on the trail of Zeke, the hillbilly moonshiner, burglar.
Lieutenant Abbott, I'll be glad to help you. What do you want?
Well, you've seen Zeke. Give me a thumbnail description of him.
Well, he uses liquid polish, and his cuticle is pushed way back.
Sam, I want you to go with me to the Ozarks. I've got to capture Zeke. It'll be a dangerous trip. Those hillbillies are strange people. They're always arguing, shooting and farming.
Yep, shooting, fighting, and fertilizing.
Come on, Sam, we're heading for the hill.
Lieutenant Abbott and I arrived in the hillbilly country.
Sam, these hillbillies are strange people, but you'll have to admit they're solid citizens. They've got both feet on the ground.
They've got to have both feet on the ground. They don't wear shoes. I read in the papers where a 75-year-old hillbilly wanted to marry a girl 9 years old.
Did he marry her?
Nope, his parents objected. They didn't want him marrying a girl who'd been divorced 3 times.
Wait a minute, Sam. Here comes a bunch of hillbillies. Let's ask them if they know where Zeke is.
Howdy, strangers. I'm Jim Hartfield. These here are my sons.
I'm Sam Shovel, the detective, and this is Lieutenant Abbott.
Boys, say hello to the strangers. Lem?
Do.
Clem? Bert?
Sir?
Bert went to military school.
I don't like the looks of these guys, Abbott. The skinny one has got an ear of corn and 2 pumpkins.
So what? They're farmers, and farmers have corn and pumpkins.
Blown out of their heads.
Well, gotta go now. We're working on the farm. 2 weeks ago, we dug a hole. Last week, we dropped the seed in it. And today, we're going to cover it up.
Do you always work that hard?
Yeah. Except when the weather gets bad, then it slows us up a little. So long.
Boy, is that guy lazy. If he was a chicken, eggs and television sets would be the same price.
Never mind him, Sam. We've got to find Zeke, the moonshiner. Hey, look over there behind those bushes. There's Zeke's. There's Zeke. The moonshiner still. Come on.
Hey, look. There's Zeke. He's making corn liquor. He's jumping up and down on the corn, crushing it.
Hold on there, Zeke. We've got you covered. You're under arrest. Stop mashing that corn with your feet. What are you doing?
I'm making some 90 proof corn liquor. And tomorrow I'm going to make some that's 100 proof.
How do you do that?
For that, I take off my shoes.
Zeke, how do you make that corn liquor?
Well, first I mash up the corn. Then I dump in a gallon of turpentine. Then a gallon of Clorox. And 2 quarts of juniper juice.
Don't you put no alcohol in it?
What? Ruin the taste?
Zeke, we're taking you to jail. Sam, grab some of that moonshine for evidence. And you better taste it to make sure we got the right stuff.
Lieutenant Abbott, you know I never touch the stuff.
So you're a brave detective, eh? Sam Shovel, eh? Go ahead, you coward. Taste it. That stuff will grow hair on your chest.
He's only kidding, Sam. Go ahead and taste it.
Okay.
Sam! Speak to me, Sam.
Don't stand there, Lieutenant. Call a barber. This hair is so thick I can't see where I'm going. Get me out of here!
Now, before Abbott and Costello have their final fling, we bring you one more thought on this subject.
Costello, why don't you tell the folks about your next week's Sam Shovel story?
Folks, my Sam Shovel story takes place in a chewing gum factory. I call it the case of the beautiful blonde who fell into a vat of soft gum, or there's good chews tonight.
Yes, and our writers are working on the case right now. Our writing staff is headed by Eddie Foreman with Paul Connell, Pat Costello, Martin Raggaway, and Len Stern.
And our producer is Charles Vander. Be sure to be with us next Thursday night.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody in Patterson. Good night, come on.
Aunt May, Uncle Mike, Uncle Tom, Aunt Eva.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
Hey, Abbott, what time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure with chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
All right, what's all the excitement about? What happened, Lou?
Well, Uncle Mike discovered gold on his ranch.
Well, good for Uncle Mike.
Yeah, he's sending to Europe for some Englishmen with shovels.
He's sending for Englishmen with shovels. What for?
He figures England will want to borrow the gold sooner or later, and they might just as well come over here and help dig it up.
Oh, let's face it, Costello. Your Uncle Mike is a moron.
Oh, no, he's not.
No?
He's going to be a great scientist someday. Right now, he's working on a new insecticide.
The He is?
Yes. Last week he got out his notebooks and locked himself in his laboratory with 10,000 mosquitoes. He released the mosquitoes and was going to write down the mosquitoes' behavior.
Then what did he write?
Nothing. He was so busy scratching he didn't have time to write.
Just as I thought. He's as big a nincompoop as you.
No, he's not. Right now, he's crossing a rubber plant with a banana.
And what does he expect to get?
A girdle you can slide into.
You know, your whole family are jerks. Look, by the way, what was that silly-looking thing on the radiator of your car this afternoon?
Well, you see, I can't afford a radiator cap, so I trained my little dog to sit on the radiator.
Your dog sits on the radiator?
Mm-hmm.
Does he bark much?
Only when it boils over.
Well,
I gotta leave you now, Abbott. I got a job as a babysitter.
You a babysitter?
Yep.
Babysitters are girls.
Well, what's wrong with the man? My Uncle Jim Kelly was a sitter. He isn't around anymore, though.
He isn't? What happened?
While he was sitting, the warden pulled the switch.
Oh, get him out!
And there'll be much more of that terrific Abbott and Costello humor in a few seconds.
Take it easy. What are you so excited about? Calm down. What's the matter?
I'm worried, Abbott.
What do you mean?
My Aunt May is in terrible shape.
Well, what's the matter with her?
She's got hallucinations. She thinks she's a taxicab.
She thinks she's a taxicab?
Yeah.
Why doesn't Uncle Mike call a doctor?
Why should he? She gets him to work faster than the Sunset Bus.
How long has Uncle Mike and Aunt May been married, Lou?
Well, it's just 20 years since they went on a honeymoon. Aunt May went to Niagara Falls, and Uncle Mike went to Miami.
Wait a minute. You mean they weren't together on their honeymoon?
No, Uncle Mike said that a honeymoon is the happiest time of your life, and why let marriage spoil it?
Well, it's wonderful to think that your Aunt May and your Uncle Mike have been married for 20 years.
Yeah. But really, Abbott, what's wonderful about it? Uncle Mike thought she loved him, but for the whole 20 years she hated him. Hated him like poison. And now they have 17 children.
Wait a minute. If she hated him, why did they have 17 children?
Well, it was her idea. She was just trying to lose him in a crowd.
Is Aunt May mean to him, Lou?
Well, she beats him up all the time. He wouldn't mind it if it wasn't for the children.
The children?
Yeah, they beat him, too.
He must be really henpecked.
Yes, he is. She tries to keep him in the house every night. Saturday, when he started to take his bath, she put 6 boxes of Jell-O in the tub so he'd get stuck. Luckily, it was raspberry, and he ate his way out.
Well, they don't have a very happy home life, do they, Lou?
No. Saturday night, Uncle Mike played pinochle all afternoon, and when he came home at 6 o'clock, there was no dinner on the table.
Well, where was your Aunt May?
Down at the bowling alley. She's down there 7 days a week.
Well, that's a shame.
Yep, Uncle Mike should have never got her that job setting pins.
Well, look, wasn't your Uncle Mike married once before?
Yeah, but his first wife passed away.
Well, now that's too bad.
Uncle Mike had such a tough time collecting the insurance that sometimes he almost wishes she hasn't died.
What did your Uncle Mike do before he got married, Lou?
Well, he was quite a Romeo, Abbott. For 2 years, he carried a torch for a girl in Pennsylvania.
He carried a torch for a girl in Pennsylvania?
She was a coal miner, and it gets pretty dark in those tunnels.
Didn't he ever work for a living?
Sure, he had a job in a canned soup factory. He was in the chicken soup division. He was a dragger.
Now, wait a minute. What are the duties of a dragger in a canned soup factory?
Very simple. When a 1,000-gallon tank of hot water was ready, he'd drag a chicken through it.
Well, it's no wonder your Aunt May fights with Uncle Mike.
Yeah. You should have seen Aunt May Sunday night, Abbott. She was so mad at Mike that she said she was going to pack her suitcases and leave him forever. Now he's really worried.
He is?
Yep. She ain't even started to pack her suitcases yet.
What a couple they are. Mike isn't a bad-looking guy, but I can't see what he ever saw in your Aunt May.
She was very popular in Patterson when she was a young girl.
She was?
Yes, the Patterson Electric and Power Company voted her Miss Alternating Current of 1915.
Costello, that's about the year you were born back in Patterson, isn't it?
Yes. I'm Patterson's favorite son.
What do you mean?
Just last week, the people of Patterson erected a statue in the very spot where I was born.
The spot where you were born? Where was that?
Right in the middle of the Greyhound bus depot.
You were born right in the middle of the Greyhound bus depot?
It was raining and my mother couldn't get a taxi.
Costello, you talk like an nincompoop. Tell me, does your whole family suffer from stupidity?
Indeed not. They enjoy every minute of it.
Hey there, Costello. I want to talk to you.
Mister, do I owe you any money?
No.
Mm-hmm. Did I ever give you a tip on any of my horses?
No.
Have you got a red-headed sister in Chicago?
No.
Okay, go ahead and talk to me.
Do you give away prizes on this program? Can I win a refrigerator or something?
Nope.
Well, goodbye. I've got to go hurry over to the Gangbusters radio show. Last week, I got $164 on that program.
Wait a minute. Gangbusters don't give away anything.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I'm a pickpocket, too.
Now I know where I saw that guy, Abbott. It was the 30th anniversary party. Yours. Remember you had a swimming pool filled up with bourbon?
Yeah, the whole swimming pool was filled with bourbon. What fun.
Yes, I never saw so many people going down for the third time with smiles on their faces.
Well, never mind that. The whole town is talking about my anniversary party. Didn't my wife Betty look beautiful? I'm very proud of my wife. Every man in town was fighting over her, but I got her.
Abbott, you didn't fight hard enough.
My wife is a beautiful woman. She hasn't got a wrinkle in her face.
She hasn't, huh? Then what are those things? Dents?
Costello, you know nothing about women. I don't even know why I even discussed the subject of women with you.
Well, it's not my fault, Abbott. I led a very sheltered life. Then I met a lovely little redhead, and I learned about women from her.
You did?
I'll never forget our first date. We sat on the riverbank in the moonlight. She moved closer to me, then I moved closer to her. Then the moon went behind a cloud. Then it happened.
What?
She let me tighten the string on her ukulele.
Didn't she kiss you, Lou?
Yes.
Did you like it?
Oh, boy.
How did it make you feel?
How did it make me feel?
Yeah.
Did you ever stand on a hot buttered waffle and have somebody pour maple syrup down your spine?
How did you get along with her, Lou?
Oh, good. The second time we had a date, I took her sightseeing on a bus.
Rubberneck?
No, but I tickled her a little.
Hello, boys.
Hey, look, Costello, it's our secretary, Viola Vaughn.
Well, Viola Vaughn.
That's my line, Lou.
Take it.
Well, Viola Vaughn. I understand you bought a new car. How do you like driving in California?
Well, it would be. That's
it
yours.
would be.
Go ahead.
It would be all right if it weren't for the pedestrians.
What's wrong with the California pedestrians?
Well, I was driving down here tonight, and one of them whizzed right past my windshield. The dirty coward was pole vaulting across the street.
Sneaky devils, ain't they? Viola, why don't you take me for a ride down the beach tonight?
I should say not.
Ah, Costello, Viola's only kidding. She really likes you, but you've got to do something to show that you like her.
That's right, Costello. Do something brave.
Do something brave?
Uh-huh.
I know what I'll do. I'll join the army and help fight the British.
But we're not fighting the British.
That's all the better. That way nobody can get hurt.
Costello, you know, you've been acting kind of queer lately.
Hey, wait a minute. Come to think of it, you're right, Viola. Yesterday afternoon, I saw him sitting up in a tree in Griffith Park.
Costello, what were you doing up in that tree?
Signing autographs?
Signing autographs?
Yes, the robins thought I was Woody Woodpecker.
Costello, here's another thing. Why do you always carry an umbrella on your arm? Why don't you get a girl on your arm? You know, a girl is much nicer than an umbrella.
Oh, I don't know, kiddo. When you're through with a girl, can you fold her up and hang her in a closet?
Why, you simple-minded, no-good, low-down...
Now, just a minute, Mr. Abbott. Have you ever stopped to consider that Costello's reasoning capacity and his functional capabilities for logical delineation are coordinated, comprehensive, and negligible? Is it compulsory to you to abuse this poor, moronic, social incompetent simply because the poor slob doesn't possess the mental capacity of an imbecile?
But Viola...
Just a minute, Abbott. You've had this coming to you for a long time. Let her finish. Continue. Tell them what a slob I am.
Viola, Viola, I can't help it if Costello's stupid.
Who's stupid? I want to tell you something, Abbott. I'm always studying, always reading. I just finished a book called When Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman in Dracula's Garden, where the Spider Woman killed the cat girl.
What's the story about?
Two bums living in the La Brea tar pits.
Well, I've got to go now, boys. I'm taking my painting lessons.
Do you paint?
Oh, yes. I draw birds with charcoal. I paint flowers in watercolor.
What do you do in oil?
Fry potatoes. Go on, Costello.
You know, Abbott, there's a girl going places.
She is?
Yes, sir. And if she hurries, she can be the first one in line to collect her unemployment insurance.
I'll get him out.
Now, while we take the 60-second intermission, we'd like you to consider this.
Ladies and gentlemen, that singing star of the Abbott and Costello show, Hal Winters.
I'd like to sing a song that belongs to the month of January as much as White Christmas belongs to December. With Matty Malnick's orchestra, here is the Ralph Ranger, Leo Robin perennial, June and January. It's June in January because I'm in love. It always is spring in my heart with you in my arms. The snow is just white blossoms that fall from above. And here is the reason, my dear. The night is cold. The trees are bare, but I can feel the scent of roses in the air. It's June in January because I'm in love, but only because I'm in love with you. The night is cold, the trees are bare, but I can feel the scent of roses in the air. It's June in January because I'm in love, but only because I'm in love with you.
Hey, Abbott. I just made an important discovery. I think I can safely announce.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Hey, Abbott, what time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, hey, Abbott, what time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here.
What time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure with chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
All right, Costello. All right, Costello.
Like I've never loved
Wait a minute. What's the idea coming in here singing?
I'm going to sing on a program tonight.
What do you know about music? You wouldn't know a bass from a soprano.
Is that so? You wouldn't see me sliding in a second soprano, would you? And besides, my new girl wants me to sing on the program.
You've got a new girl?
Yes, every night she knocks on my door, throws her arms around me, hugs and kisses me, and calls me Gregory Peck.
She calls you Gregory Peck?
Gregory Peck.
Why don't you tell her you're not Gregory Peck?
Silly boy.
What does this girl do, Lou?
She's a striptease dancer at the burlesque show. I wait for her every night outside the stage door.
Does she meet you?
No, but she waves to me from the patrol wagon as it goes by.
Sense. I used to chase girls like you, and I never got anywhere. And one day I decided life wasn't worth living. I tried to shoot myself, and somebody stopped me. I tried to hang myself, and somebody stopped me.
Too bad.
I tried to drown myself, and somebody stopped me.
Some people never know when to mind their own business.
Well, all I have to say to you, Costello, is adios.
Adios?
Yes, that's goodbye in Spanish.
Well, Los Angeles traffic.
Los Angeles traffic?
That's goodbye in any language.
Hey, wait a minute, boys. Here's a serious-looking fella trying to get a word in edgewise. Let's see what he has to say.
holler you about this time?
I've been chosen a man of distinction by the Boy Scouts of America. And my picture is going to be in all the magazines.
What picture?
There it is. It's a picture of me leaning up against my scoutmaster, drinking a glass of buttermilk.
You must be pretty popular with your Boy Scout troop.
Yes, sir. I'm the only Boy Scout in California that's got a hot rod.
Yeah, you don't even know what a hot rod is.
Oh, yes, I do. A hot rod is a jalopy that smokes Mexican cigarettes.
You idiot. You running around with a bunch of kids at your age? There must be something wrong with you. What's the matter with you anyway?
Can't figure it out, Abbott. I sleep good at night. I sleep good in the morning. But during the day, I just seem to twist and turn.
No wonder nobody will associate with you. You haven't got a friend in the world.
How can you say that, Abbott? I'm the most popular guy in my hometown. Every one of the 300,000 people in Patterson, New Jersey love me.
Wait a minute, Costello. 300,000. Patterson only has 140,000 people.
When were you there last?
2 years ago.
Well, people have children, you know.
You please talk sense. What's that roll of paper you've got in your pocket?
That's my Christmas shopping list, and you're right on the top.
Oh, say, that's wonderful. What are you going to get me, Lou?
I'm going to get you a handful of nickels and dimes and put them in your mouth.
What do you want to give me a handful of nickels and dimes to put in my mouth?
I'd like to hear some change in your conversation.
Never mind. Who else is on your list?
Well, there's my Uncle Mike. I don't know what to get him. Last year I got him a smoking jacket.
Did he like it?
Oh, sure. Christmas morning he stuffed it into his pipe.
Didn't it burn?
Yeah, but not as good as tobacco. I think I'll get my Aunt May one of those old man river girdles.
What's an old man river girdle?
It helps you tote that barge and lift that bale. I'll either get that or I'll get a book, a volume by O. Henry.
Oh, a volume?
Yeah.
Oh, Henry only wrote short stories.
How much can you write on a wrapper off a candy bar?
What is Uncle Mike going to get Aunt May, Lou?
I don't know. Last year he gave her a fur piece. She shot it under the house. Had a white stripe down its back.
That was a skunk.
Huh?
That was a skunk. Why'd Uncle Mike shoot it?
After he shot it, he asked himself the same question.
Well, now, wait a minute now. After all, skunk is pretty expensive. If your Uncle Mike had to buy it, he would have had to sell his house to pay for it.
After he shot it, he had to sell the house anyway.
My wife wants a mink coat for Christmas, but mink skins cost $40 apiece.
Why don't you just buy her one skin and a sock stretcher?
Costello, that's ridiculous. My wife is one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood. Every time I look at her, she reminds me of Jane Russell.
Me too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What makes her remind you of Jane Russell?
She's got legs like Bob Waterfield.
When my wife puts on an evening gown, she looks like she was poured in it.
You're right, Abbott. She looks like she was poured in it and forgot to say when.
Is that so? My wife was a picture star a few years ago, you know. Her last picture was the Great Forest Fire. She was the siren.
I saw that picture. She nearly fell off the truck 3 times.
Costello, my wife is one of the most popular girls in this town. Why, I only won her on account of my great romantic ability.
You've got romantic ability?
Certainly. When I put my arms around a girl and kiss her, her eyes close and she faints dead away.
Yeah, but I used to be able to do the same thing, only lately garlic doesn't agree with me.
Tell me, Costello, how's your romance coming with that rich girl from Pasadena?
She wasn't serious, Abbott. I found out it was nothing but puppy love on her part.
When did she break the engagement?
When she found out I wasn't a puppy.
You should have hung on to her, Costello. Her family were very wealthy. Their home has 20 bathrooms.
Their home has 20 bathrooms?
That's right.
No wonder they call them the filthy rich. You know, she was a nice girl, Abbott, but there was only one thing wrong with her. She had $1 million smile.
Well, what's wrong with that?
She'd only smile at guys that had $1 million.
Well, now that you've broken off with her, why don't you make a play for my younger sister, Babe?
Your sister, Babe? Mm-hmm. Don't tell me she's out here in California now.
Sure, she's always wanted to come out here to the West where men are men and women are women.
Yes, out here in the West where men are men and women are women. And now your sister, Babe, has to come out here and confuse the whole thing.
Costello, my sister babe may be fat, but remember, she's a slick chick.
She's slick, all right. The last time I had a date with her, I'd been over to kiss her goodnight, and her hair slid off.
Are you trying to insinuate that my sister babe is bald?
I wouldn't say that, Abbott. She's got one of those new, sunny, tough hairdos.
Sunny, tough hairdos?
Yeah, it's sunny down the middle, and there's a tough on each side.
Costello.
Now it's Abbott's nephew, folks. Now what do you want, Norman?
Well, I'm on the committee for the Rose Bowl parade, and we want you to ride on one of those big rose-covered floats on New Year's Day.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, but I've got to tell you something. There's one restriction. You can't tell any of the jokes you tell on the radio while you're riding on the float.
And why not?
We want the people to smell the roses.
That did it. I can't stand this any longer. Every week the same thing.
Oh, now wait a minute,
and
Costello.
And he gets money for it.
What are you going to do?
Huh?
What are you going to do?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Norman, this studio isn't big enough for the two of us. Now, here, you take this gun and I'll take this gun. And we'll shoot at each other until one of us is dead.
Okay. You want to bet a quarter I win?
Bet a quarter? What for?
I just thought you might want to make it exciting.
Look, Roy, why don't you go over to the Raleigh cigarette program and have your head moisturized?
Wait a minute.
Now, get out of here. Hey, Abbott, why don't you get that guy a job and keep him out of here?
He just comes in here for laughs. He's got a job. He's a salesman.
Are you kidding? That guy couldn't sell anything.
Right now, he's working in the drugstore, and they're having a 1-cent sale.
What's he selling?
Pennies.
Pennies? Cucamonga, 32. Pomona, 31. San Fernando, above 32. Riverside, 28.
Wait a minute, Costello. What are you doing?
Figured as long as I ain't getting any laughs, I just might as well read the frost warnings.
That's no attitude to take. After all, Costello, this is Christmas time. Don't you feel the spirit of Christmas?
Yes, I guess you're right, Abbott. I feel like helping everybody. I've got nothing but good in my heart. See that old man over there? The one with the beard and the patches on his pants?
Yes.
I'll show you I got the spirit of Christmas. I'm going over there and help that old man out.
That's the spirit, Costello.
Hiya, buddy. Could I talk to you for a minute?
Oh, what do you want?
Well, I don't want to be forward, and this being Christmas, you know, I'm Lou Costello, the actor. I thought that maybe you'd sort of, well...
Well, here's a dime. Get lost.
Santa Paula, 32. Ventura, 29. Santa Ana, 30.
Hello, boys.
Hey, look, Costello, it's our secretary, Viola Vaughn.
Hey.
I called you last night, Viola, and you weren't home.
No, I was over at Costello's house practicing love scenes with him.
You were practicing love scenes with Costello?
Uh-huh.
He's so short he doesn't even come up to your shoulders. How can he make love to you?
Well, I stand him on a box, put my arms around him tight, kick the box out from under him, and I've got him trapped.
Ojai, 29. Tipton, above 32. La Hala, 31. Well, I'll leave you two. Cheerio, so long, Pip Pip and Hetty Lamar.
Pip Pip and Hetty Lamar.
Yeah, that's 3 pips.
Hey, where are you going, Costello?
I gotta go home now and take care of my brother Pat. You know, he's in that awkward age, you know.
Awkward age?
Yeah, he's too young to leave home alone and too old to trust but babysitters.
Why waste your time with your brother, Pat? Why don't you take Viola to the movies?
Oh, no. I'm not going to go to the movies with Costello after what happened the last time.
What happened?
Viola and I were holding hands, but we had to let go because we were tripping too many people.
You were tripping people?
Yeah, she was sitting across the aisle from me.
Now, do you see why I won't go to the movies with him?
You don't have to go with me, Viola. I can get plenty of girls. Only tonight coming down here, Ann Sheridan says, "Hiya, Lou."
When did you ever meet Ann Sheridan?
I've seen her so many times on a screen, she thinks she knows me.
Are you kidding? You don't know anybody in pictures.
I don't, huh? Here comes Alan Ladd. I'll show you who my pals are. Hi, Alan.
Hiya, Mac.
Mac? Mac? I thought he was your pal.
Ah, he's a little...
Why did he call you Mac?
He's a little nearsighted. He thought I was Fred McMurray.
Well, so long, Costello. And remember, if you want to, you can come over to my house tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Costello, that was nice of Viola to invite you over for dinner.
Yes, but I ain't going to go to her house anymore for dinner. She's too wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy?
Yes, every time we get through with dinner, she always says, "I wishy you'd washy the dishes."
Get him out of
job, men, but it's time to change the subject for just about 60 seconds.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's our new singer, Hal Winters. Let's give Hal a nice big hand.
A nice big hand for Hal Winters.
Day in, day out, the same old hoodoo follows me about. The same old pounding in my heart whenever I think of you. And darling, I think of you day in and day out. Day out, day in. I needn't tell you how my day begins. When I awaken with a tingle. One possibility in view, that possibility of maybe seeing you. Come rain, come shine, I meet you and to me the day is fine. Then I speak your name and that pounding becomes the ocean's roar, 1,000 drums. Can't you see it's love? Can there be any doubt when there it is, day in, day out? Then I speak your name, and that pounding becomes the ocean's roar, 1,000 drums. Can't you see it's love? Can there be any doubt when there it is, day in, day out?
Costello, put down that water pitcher. Put down that water pitcher. What are you doing?
I put it down.
What are you doing?
Well, I'm drinking water. Doctor told me to drink water an hour before I eat, and I don't like it.
Why not?
I've been drinking for 20 minutes. If I take another swallow, I'll bust.
What doctor did you go to?
My cousin, he's a doctor. Dr. Vincent Varello.
Is he a good doctor?
Good. He's the greatest doctor in Cucamonga, the most skillful doctor in Cucamonga. There's no better doctor in Cucamonga.
What makes you so sure?
He's the only doctor in Cucamonga.
Yeah, I mean, why do you go all the way to Cucamonga? There's a doctor right in your block.
Yeah, but he's a baby doctor. I ain't got no confidence in him.
Why not?
Very few babies make good doctors.
Forget about it. Have you heard any more from our sponsors about how they like your Sam Shovel detective stories?
Indeed I have. Here's a letter from one of them that came this morning. I'll read it. Dear Lou Costello, since I heard you were going to continue your Sam Shovel detective series, I have decided to take the old picture off our bottles and replace it with your picture. For as long as you do your Sam Shovel series, every bottle of our product will have your picture on the label.
What product do they make?
Iodine.
I thought so. What is your Sam Shovel detective mystery for tonight, Gus?
It's one of my minor cases, Abbott. I call it the case of the babysitter who was fired because he neglected his work, or it was time for a change.
Well, let's get on with the case.
And now, the makers of Pismo Cocoa, the cocoa that won't keep you awake unless you drink it, present your favorite radio mystery, Sam Shovel, Private Detective. But first, a word about our product. Friends, when you drink cocoa before you go to bed, do you toss and turn? Try a cup of Pismo Cocoa tonight. No more tossing, no more turning. You'll just lie there, dead. Pismo Cocoa comes in the regular style for those who make it in a pot. It also comes vacuum packed for those who make it in a vacuum cleaner. Drink Pismo Cocoa and know when you drink Pismo Cocoa what a good cup tastes like. Say, compared to the cocoa, the cup will taste wonderful. And now let's listen to what people all over the country are saying about Pismo Cocoa.
That's cocoa.
That's cocoa.
That's cocoa.
That's cocoa.
Friends, we're proud of Pismo Cocoa. Remember this, during the war, Pismo Cocoa was chosen by our armies as the cocoa they served overseas. They served it to the Japs. And now Pismo Cocoa brings you the further adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. I've had a tough day. I'm sitting here in my little office dozing. I'm sleepy. Suddenly I see a Dunhill, a K. Woody, a corncob, a briar. I'm having pipe dreams. The telephone company was here this morning and put in a phone. I look at my new phone number, Elephant 6688. Must be on a trunk line. I just finished listening to my favorite radio, Giveaway Show. It's the only real giveaway show on the air. If you guess the answer, they give away the show. I see the mailman's shadow on the window of my office door. He's bringing my mail. He delivers the mail the hard way. The hard way. He crawls through the mail slot and drags the mail in after him. I notice my new map has arrived in the mail. It's got the boundaries of all the states marked on it. I study the map. There's the Ohio state line. There's the Indiana line. There's... Yo! That must be the Mason-Dixon line. I love the South. I'll never forget how I trailed Shotgun Jake through the South. He thought he was a smart guy, but I fixed his wagon. I grabbed him in Atlanta and fixed his wagon. In Chattanooga, I fixed his wagon. In Birmingham, I fixed his wagon. I made a lot of money on that case. He gave me $5 every time I fixed his wagon. Here's a letter from a crook in Switzerland. He's imprisoned at the Yodel Yodel. That's Swiss for Sing Sing. I decided to read the rest of my mail. Here's a letter I don't understand. Dear Sam Shovel, we're sick of you butting into our business. If the Varela gang don't kill you, we'll kill you. Signed, the Merry Gang. P.S. If you're already dead, please disregard this note. That sounds like a threatening letter. I better make sure I'm armed. I opened the drawer of my desk to check on my gun. It's a Colt. Here's a postcard from my bookmaker. He wants me to send him $1 for a football pool. I don't think I'll do it. It's a waste of time building a pool for a football. It's about time for my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad, to show up. Abbott is a fine cop. Abbott, the chief wants to put him on the headquarters squad. No wonder. Abbott is the only cop in the force that's got a head the size of a quarter. I've hung out with Lieutenant Abbott so much we've become known as sidekicks. It's not because we're so friendly. It's just that every time we meet, we kick each other in the side. Suddenly, I hear footsteps outside my door.
Hello, Sam Shovel.
Glad you showed up, Lieutenant Abbott. How about paying me the $5 you owe me?
When April showers, they come my way.
Every time I ask for money, he gives me a song and dance. Where have you been, Lieutenant Abbott?
I just arrested a guy for changing a tire.
You can't arrest a man for changing a tire.
From my car to his.
Lieutenant Abbott also changed that joke from my punchline to his punchline.
Sam, this office is filthy. Why don't you get some cleaning equipment and clean up the dirt?
I've got plenty of cleaning equipment. I got vacuum cleaners, mops, brooms, and scrubbing brushes.
Why don't you use them?
Can't find them. They're under the dirt.
You're a disgrace to the detective business. What an office. It's ankle deep in dirt. Why don't you open a window?
The only window in the place is in my kitchenette.
Well, open it.
What, and let the sun come in and kill my mushroom beds? As I said this, I heard a creepy sound in the hall outside. I turned and looked. Lieutenant Abbott and I said, quick, somebody's coming. Hide behind that marble slab.
Sam. Sam, you were right. There's someone at the door.
The door slowly opened. Get it open while I'm still young enough to read the next line. Standing in the doorway was the most gorgeous girl I've ever seen. She spoke.
Oh, Monsieur Sam Chauvel, I have heard that you are a great detective, no?
That I am. I looked at this lovely creature. She was wearing a low-cut evening gown.
Sam Chauvel, will you help me out?
Lady, don't you think you're out far enough already?
Sam Chauvel, who is your so charming friend?
This is Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad.
Ah, the famous brave Lieutenant Abbott. Lieutenant, I am in great danger. You can help me, n'est-ce pas?
Mais oui, mademoiselle.
Oh, chérie, que vous êtes le plus bel homme du monde.
Oh, I don't think I could do that.
Oh, mais je crois que vous êtes un méchant garçon.
I couldn't do that.
Oh, mais vous n'avez pas besoin d'être si insolente avec moi.
I couldn't do that.
What's she saying, Abbott? Maybe I could.
Oh, Sam Chauvel, you are so brave. The terrible Count Boris is after me. Tell me, what would you do if you were in my shoes?
I'd probably fall flat on my puss.
Countess, you shouldn't drag Sam Shovel into this case.
Here we go again.
Count Boris is a vicious man. He might kill Sam. Besides, you have no money to pay the fee.
Oh, it is true I have no money, but Sam, I can pay you with kisses.
Kisses are not legal tender.
They may not be legal, but I'll bet they're tender.
Sam, you are so wonderful. I'm going to give you a kiss that will melt your heart.
Sam, say something.
Does anybody want to buy 10 cents worth of liquid hot?
Oh, Sam, it is Count Boris. He's looking for me. He is always seeking me. For 5 years I've been hiding from him. Quick, Sam, where can I hide?
Here, hide under the desk.
Where is she? Where is she? I know she's here. I've been looking for her for 5 years. Aha! There you are under the desk, huh? Come out, Countess Borden. I have found you, and you know what that means.
What are you going to do to her, Count Boris?
Nothing. Only now it's my turn to hide. She's got to find me.
Get him out of here, will you?
Abbott and Costello will have the last word as usual. But before they do, we'd like you to ponder this.
we say goodnight, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say that the part of Sam Shovel in tonight's show was played by Luke Costello. And I, Bud Abbott, do not necessarily agree with anything he says.
Thank you, Abbott. And I want to say that the part of Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad is played by Bud Abbott. And if there is any resemblance between Abbott and any living person, there would be better off dead.
Thank you. And now let's give a bow to our orchestra leader, Matty Malnick, and to our singer, Hal Winters.
And I'd like to give credit to our writing staff, which is headed by Eddie Foreman with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Leonard Stern.
And let's not forget our capable producer, Charles Vander.
And let's not forget to say goodnight.
Good night, folks.
Good night to everybody in Patterson. Good night.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
It's time for the Abbott and Costello show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure. Chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
Well, it's about time you got here. Where were you?
Well, I went to the YWCA girls' play softball. And one girl was running to third base. She slipped and fell and landed in my lap, and boy, was I mad.
Why?
The umpire made me put her back in the game.
Was she a pretty girl?
Oh, pretty. Yeah, but she was gorgeous. I made a date with her after the game, and brother, did she send me.
She did?
Yeah, but when I got back, she wasn't there.
Costello, why do you keep annoying every girl that you meet? Who do you think you are, Casanova?
Who do I think of who?
Who do you think you are? Casanova?
Casanova?
Huh.
I may not be Casanova, but people say that I'm as good-looking as Van Johnson.
Who says that?
How do I know? Do you think I go around eavesdropping?
Well, if she's such a pretty girl, why didn't you propose to her and marry her?
I can't marry her. I don't know anything about her.
What difference does that make? In Africa, a man doesn't even know his wife until after he marries her.
What do you mean in Africa?
You dope. You don't even know what marriage is.
Yes, I do. Marriage is a friendship that got out of control.
Costello, you shouldn't have any trouble Lou, you shouldn't have any trouble getting married. Do you know that out here in Hollywood, there are 2 girls for every man?
2 girls for every man? Are you sure?
Certainly.
Then some dirty sneakers got 4.
Costello, it's no use. You'll never get a girl until you settle down and become a man of regular habits.
I am a man of regular habits.
Then how come you were out until 4 o'clock this morning with that redhead that lives next door?
That's one of my regular habits.
Costello, I can't understand how girls go out with you in the first place.
Abbott, it's my terrific magnetism.
You've got magnetism?
Yes, last week I picked up 2 blondes, a redhead, a brunette, and a rusty nail.
Why don't you be like me, Costello? I've got a way with women.
You haven't got away with many lately.
Is that so? I happen to be the reason that women leave home.
Yes, the day you were born, your mother took one look at you, and she hasn't been back since.
Oh, get him out of here.
Ah, yes, the boys are on the beam tonight. And they'll be back on it in just about 1 minute. But first, let's hear this.
Costello, will you stop that walking up and down? What's the matter with you? What are you worried about?
Last night, my Uncle Mike was robbed while he was asleep.
Oh, now, wait a minute. How could your Uncle Mike be robbed? He's got all his money sewed up in his long underwear.
Oh, yes. Well, it was a hot night, and he left the back door of the bank open.
Don't tell him, lady.
All right. That's no reason why you should worry.
No?
No.
Well, when I get on the next page, I'll find out why not.
All right, well, you find out.
Oh, no, huh? Well, I got plenty of reasons. Saturday night, they arrested my Uncle Jim Kelly. He broke into a grocery store and he stole $390.
Well, why did he do it?
The poor guy was hungry.
Well, if he was hungry, why didn't he steal all the money, Lou? Why didn't he steal some groceries or something?
He's a proud man, Abbott. He likes to pay for everything he gets. And besides, he needs the money to buy a new car.
Oh, wait a minute. He'd be better off without a car. Costello, it's very dangerous driving in California.
You're telling me? In Los Angeles, you have to drive for 5 people. The one in front of you, the one in back of you, and the ones on each side of you.
Oh, wait a minute. That's only 4 cars. Where's the 5th?
She'll pull out in front of you any minute.
Well, Abbott, I gotta leave now. I got a new job with my brother Pat in the trucking business.
Has he got his own truck?
Yeah, you should see it, Abbott. It's 1 inch wide and a block long.
A truck 1 inch wide and a block long?
Mm-hmm.
What does he deliver in it?
Spaghetti. Next week, he's going to buy a round truck.
A round truck? What for?
Meatballs.
Talk sense. Is your brother Pat making any money in the trucking business, Lou?
Oh, yes. He did so good last week that he bought his wife one of those new electric blankets. It saves her a lot of time around the house.
Now, wait a minute. How can an electric blanket help her with the work around the house?
Well, she takes the eggs and the bacon to bed with her. And when she gets up in the morning, breakfast is ready. That electric blanket is making her very popular, too.
What do you mean?
Last night, she turned it on too high, and now...
Yes?
She's the toast of the town.
Oh, Mr. Costello, I've got to talk to you. I've got a great idea.
Wait a minute, mister. What's the idea of breaking in here like this?
Well, I've got an idea that will make you two the most popular comedy team in radio.
What is it?
I'll stamp your name underneath every cow in the country.
Wait a minute. How will that make us popular?
Well, at least you'll have all the farmers pulling for you.
Hello, boys.
Well, it's Susan Miller.
Susan, I'm certainly glad you showed up tonight because I'm going to sing a duel with you.
Costello. You mean a duet. A duel is where somebody gets hurt.
You never sang with me, did you?
Now, when did you become a singer, Costello?
Well, I don't like to brag, but would you believe that I taught Bing Crosby how to sing?
No, I wouldn't.
You're right, but once in a while I catch a sucker.
Costello, you don't know the first thing about music.
Well, I'll have you know what I studied music.
Nah.
I went to a singing school. I used to study until I was blue in the face, and then the teacher presented me with a medal.
For being the best singer in the class?
No, for having the bluest face.
Well, I've got to go now, boys. I'm going swimming down at the beach. I bought one of those new French bathing suits. It comes equipped with a shoehorn and a hacksaw.
Why did they give you a shoehorn and a hacksaw with a bathing suit?
Well, the shoehorn gets me into the bathing suit. And after I wear it, I'll need the hacksaw to get me out of jail. So long, Costello.
You know, there goes a nice kid, Abbott. The only thing is she's money mad.
Money mad?
Yeah, she's mad because I ain't got no money.
So what? Remember, Costello, money isn't everything. You know, you can't take it with you.
It's nice to have it here so you can say goodbye to it.
You know, my family's always had money. In fact, my Uncle Rudolph was one of the first gold miners in California. One day when he was in the mine digging for gold, he was killed by a falling spade.
A falling spade killed my Uncle Tom.
Was he a gold miner?
No, he was killed by the ace of spades that fell out of his sleeve in a poker game.
Well, Costello, you'll never have to worry about money as long as I got it. We're pals. Share and share alike.
Well, I feel the same way about you, Abbott.
That's swell. You mean you'd share everything you have with me? If you had 2 cars, you'd give me one?
Sure.
If you had 2 houses, you'd give one of them to me?
I certainly would.
And if you had 2 department stores, you'd give me one?
Yes, sir. We're pals. Share and share alike.
Swell. If you had $2, would you give me one?
No.
Why?
Because I've got $2.
So that's the way you feel, eh? I thought I was your pal. Are you trying to tell me that money means more to you than I do?
I didn't say that, Abbott.
Well, does it?
Yes.
That settles it, Costello. I'm going on my vacation to New Jersey, and I'm not taking you with me.
Who wants to go to New Jersey now? When we were there last summer, the mosquitoes were so big they were carrying baseball bats. I woke up in the middle of the night, and 2 of them were sitting on my stomach holding a conversation.
Oh, now, don't be silly. Mosquitoes can't talk.
Don't tell me. These 2 were certainly chewing the fat.
You idiot. The only mosquitoes that bite are female mosquitoes.
Well, the one that nipped me when I was bending over to tie my shoe was no lady. The night your Uncle Roy got drunk, the mosquitoes were biting him all night, and it kept me awake.
Well, if they were biting him, why did it keep you awake?
Well, they'd bite him and then come over and sit on my bed and hiccup.
Well, Costello, on second thought, I don't think I'll go to New Jersey. I need a complete rest where nobody will bother me, where the name Bud Abbott means nothing.
Oh, you're staying in town, eh?
Never mind that. Where are you going?
Well, I think I'll go to Honolulu. Last time I was there, I met a beautiful native girl. She was gorgeous, and what a figure. All day, she'd walk around carrying a big basket on her head. Then at night, she'd sneak off, and she'd meet me. Ah, brother, she taught me plenty.
She did?
Yes. You should see me carry a basket on my head.
Never mind that. Have you been getting plenty of rest?
No. And I've been having a lot of trouble going to sleep. Last night, I didn't fall asleep till 11 o'clock.
What time did you go to bed?
5 minutes to 11.
Costello, you need to... Costello, you need a vacation. You've got to stop running around with girls. It's affecting your brain.
I think you're right, Abbott.
I know it.
Last night I had a date to pick up a girl at Hollywood and Vine. I drove down to Hollywood and Vine. Then I went to dinner, and all during dinner I felt as if I'd forgotten something. Then to a movie, and all through the movie I felt as though I'd forgotten something. Then I drove to Griffith Park, and I started to neck, and I still felt as if I'd forgotten something. Then I went home, and I remembered what I forgot.
What was it?
I forgot to pick up the girl. And each week at this time, the Abbott and Costello Show presents our feature singer, and here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Hal Winters with Matty Malnick and his orchestra.
Brush those tears from your eyes and try to realize that the ache in my heart is for you. Brush those tears from your eyes and try to realize that from now on I'll always be true. I went away, but I didn't mean to stay, and I will regret it until my dying day. Brush those tears from your eyes and try to realize that the ache in my heart is for you. I went away, but I didn't mean to stay, and I will regret it until my dying day. Brush those tears from your eyes and try to realize that the ache in my heart is for you.
Well, Costello, if we're going to do a murder mystery, we'll need a leading lady. Now, how about that blonde actress you're so crazy about?
I ain't going with her anymore, Abbott. We had an argument about mustaches. She likes them and I don't.
You mean she wanted you to grow a mustache?
No, I wanted her to shave hers off.
I thought she was rather pretty. She has such pearly white teeth.
Yes, and when we broke up, I asked her for a picture of her face so I could remember her lovely teeth.
Well, did she give you the picture?
She didn't have a picture, so she gave me the teeth.
Well, we've got to have a leading lady. Now, wait a minute. How about that little brunette actress?
No, I'm mad at her, too. We had a date at Hollywood and Vine last week, and she stood me up.
Did you tell her off?
I'll say I did. I said, how dare you stand me up at Hollywood and Vine? And she said she was sorry, and now we have an understanding.
You have?
Mm-hmm. Now she's going to stand me up at Sunset and Vine.
Costello, I think this idea for doing detective stories is going to be a flop. You know nothing about detectives.
Well, my whole family were detectives, Abbott. My Uncle Tom was smart as a whip, but they threw him off the force.
Why?
They found out there weren't very many smart whips.
I don't believe that. Why did Tom really get thrown off the force?
Well, if you must know, he was taking bribes. He used to put the money in his shoes, and the chief found it out.
If he put the money in his shoes, how did the chief find out?
He got 18 inches taller the first week.
Who else in your family were detectives?
Well, my twin uncles, Gus and Billy. They joined the force on the same day. Billy's first assignment was to find a gorgeous secretary who had stolen $1 million from her boss.
What was Gus's first assignment?
To find Billy.
Were any of the other Costello's detectives?
Yes. Two of my cousins, Bert and Harry. They were working on a case at the racetrack. They had to find a gang that was doping horses.
A difficult case?
Oh, very difficult.
Difficult, eh?
Yeah, very difficult. Bert and Harry disguised themselves as a horse and slept in the stables. One night a guy came along and jabbed them full of dope.
What did they do?
What could they do? They came in third and paid $280.
Well, never mind that. What is your Sam Shovel story for tonight?
It's one of my most famous cases. I call it the case of the boy named Tony, whose mother kept him locked in a closet, or Tony's Home Permanent.
Sounds interesting. Well, let's get on with the case.
And now, we present the adventures of Sam Shovel, Master Detective. Brought to you by Army Surplus Sales. And here is today's radio special. Something no housewife should be without. Yes, today you can buy Fort Dix. So, rush over to Army Surplus Sales and buy Fort Dix. Bring it home and surprise the little woman. And remember, when you buy, insist on the genuine Fort Dix. Do not accept Marchfield. And now for the adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes? I'm Sam Shovel, private detective. I'm sitting in my little office down by the waterfront all by myself, playing gin rummy the hard way. The hard way. Without cards. I've been playing for 2 hours, and I owe myself $900. And I'm worried. I know I'm not good for it. Being a private detective isn't a bad racket. I remember the first day I opened this detective office. I threw a party. What a party. I bought a carton of beer, and as I was carrying it up the stairs, I tripped. All the bottles were broken. Beer was leaking all over me. Everybody cheered and congratulated me. I had broken my first case. As I'm sitting here now, I feel something creeping up behind me. It's Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicides Bureau. The man who single-handed caught Babyface Nelson, Babyface Cooper, and Babyface Brown, which wasn't too difficult considering they were all babies.
Detective Abbott speaks.
Hello, Sam Shovel. My, it's dark in here. Why don't you pull up the shades?
Okay, I will.
Sam, it's still dark in here.
I know. I don't have any windows.
Just look at your office. An old herring barrel for a chair, a soapbox for a desk, a rug made out of old newspapers.
Yes, you may not believe this. Lieutenant, 5 years ago I started out with nothing.
Look out! Look out!
Look.
I scared you! Look, you got another fire. You got another one. Look out! Look out!
Hey, look. Somebody made a bullet hole in the ceiling.
Just missed killing me.
How could a bullet shot at the ceiling hurt you?
If I happened to be sitting on a chandelier, I would have been killed.
Shovel, what made you go into this dangerous business?
The prizes.
There's prizes in the detective business?
Sure. If I'm lucky, I may get to be Ellery Queen for a day.
Look out! They're awake.
What was that? Oh, just the backfire of an automobile. What was that?
That must be one of the tires yelling for help.
That sound came from the building next door. Who occupies it?
The Universal International Overseas Interstate Trucking Company.
Where do they ship to?
Glendale.
We'd better go next door and investigate. It may be the killer.
Wait till I get my weapons. My gun, my blackjack, and today's newspaper.
Today's newspaper's a weapon?
If I mess with the gun and the blackjack, I'll show him the headlines in the paper and he'll worry himself to death. Let's go.
Help! Help!
Hey, look. There's a man on the floor. He's in trouble.
What happened, mister?
Oh, I've been stabbed. They put a bullet in my shoulder, a dagger in my back, and all my ribs are broken. Oh.
Does it hurt?
Only when I...
Does it hurt, mister?
Only when I laugh.
Come, man. Tell us who stabbed you.
It was...
This man is dead. We've got to find out who the killer is.
I know. I'll ask Herman the stool pigeon. He'll sell us the information.
What makes you so sure he will?
For money, Herman would sell his own grandmother.
How do you know?
I bought her 3 times already. Well, I left Lieutenant Abbott and went looking for Herman the stool pigeon. Then made a trip to the Los Angeles waterfront, the toughest part of town. What a tough neighborhood. The only place in Los Angeles where the pedestrians knock the cars down. I was scared, plenty scared. My throat was so dry I could feel the seeds in my Adam's apple. I drew my trusty revolver. I didn't know whether to put it in my holster or in my pocket. Then I decided to check if the gun was loaded. I held it against my head and pulled the trigger. Putting the gun in the hole in my head, I started for the docks. Suddenly, I heard a voice. What are you like that for?
Sam.
What?
It's me, Detective Abbott.
It's dark. I can't see you.
I'm here on the wharf.
On the what?
Walk.
I can't hear a word you're saying. There's a dog barking someplace. I looked up. Waterfront Lil was standing beside me. She was more beautiful than ever. She spoke.
Hello, Sam.
Hello, Miss Waterfront.
Call me Lil, you gorgeous hunk of man.
Okay, Lil, you gorgeous hunk of man.
Never mind the romancing, Sam. You've got to find out if she's a smuggler.
Okay.
Be subtle. Don't let her know you're after information. Okay, take it easy. All right. Okay.
Lil, are you a smuggler?
Sam, I'll tell you if you promise not to turn me over to the police. Now promise you won't turn me over.
Why should I turn you over? You can't look any better on the other side.
Well, Lil, I got you at last. I'm taking you in.
Oh, no, you're not. You'll never take me alive.
Quick, Sam, put the handcuffs on her.
She got me. I'm shot.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sam. Quick, Lieutenant, call an ambulance. We'll take Sam to the hospital.
No, not the ambulance.
Sam, don't you want to go to the hospital?
Yes, but I ain't riding in no ambulance through that Los Angeles traffic. A man can get killed that way. I'll walk.
Quick, get him out of here.
Keep the house lights down, boys. We'll have a curtain call by Abbott and Costello after a final reminder on this subject.
Well, Costello, you certainly gave a brilliant performance as Sam Shovel tonight.
Thank you, Bud Abbott.
You're full of pep. Yes, sir, you certainly were effervescent tonight.
Did you ever see me when I ever wasn't? Ever wasn't. Now I know what happened to Baron Munchausen's riders. We've got 'em.
Writing staff is headed by Eddie Foreman, with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello.
And our producer is Charles Vander.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good night.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
Hey, Abbott, what time is it?
It's